face at me.
So
It's
wait,
the
wait,
truth.
wait. So
If
so
you
now we're going to
know where trouble is
profiling.
coming,
So
you have
now
to
now you're
profile.
going to justify racial profiling. Now you're going to please go ahead.
Well, you know how I feel about this. I think that there is logic and reason behind saying it's the terrorists that we've dealt with have primarily come out of the Muslim population. I'm going to look at Muslims a whole lot more carefully than I ever have before because we're in a state where problems have come out of that community. And yes, it's very much related to racial profiling, the way the police do it when they say, "Well, in this area, it is it is black youth who have created the overwhelming propensity of problems by way of this, that, and the other thing." So yeah, I sort of understand why they look at black youth
In a
maybe more
certain light.
carefully than they
Okay.
might look at Jewish accountants standing
Okay.
on
Well, let me say this. I will tell you that there are a lot more black men killed by police than there are killed by terrorists. So when I'm thinking about terrorism and ISIS and all that, that doesn't cross my mind. I'm thinking about the terrorists that come in our communities in blue cars with sirens on them, who think that they can sell drugs in the community, supply weapons, and
You're
kill people and get
conflating
away
two
with it.
things, boys. You know you are. You're conflating two completely
No, no,
different
no, no,
things.
no. But what I'm saying to you is that if you look at the terrorism that is committed by white males in America, that's far more dangerous than a couple of little isolated incidents committed by Muslims. I mean, think about how many mass shootings there. The kid that shot up all the little kids you know what I'm talking about. I don't remember what city.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean, I'm sorry,
Yeah, these are
but there.
disenfranchised, crazy white kids who shoot up schools. I understand that.
Right. So a lot. So why would we not sort of say, well, given that there have been far more of those incidents than there have been Muslim related incidents, why not just round up all the white males and as many as you can and put them all
Because
in a
the
special
large,
camp or
no,
something to
no, no.
just so we can keep our eye on them. What do you say to
The
that?
large-scale terrorist attacks that we have dealt with in San Bernardino and Paris these have been perpetrated by extremist Muslim terrorists. That's
Ah.
why.
Well, I'll
Yes,
tell
I
you what.
agree
I'll
that
tell you what.
they're
When Timothy McVeigh blew up that gigantic building in
dead.
Oklahoma City with
Yes, he did.
daycares in a
Yes, he
daycare
did.
center in the building,
Crazy guy.
a lot of people got hurt when that happened,
A
right?
lot of people
And
got
and
dead, not just hurt,
and
but dead.
and
I
and
know,
here's
but you're talking about a small percentage. You can't. Well,
no,
firstly,
no, no, no. But
you can't round up white guys and
right,
say,
right.
which one of you is
Well,
bad guys. You
you
can't do
can't,
it.
right? I mean, well, because it
Too
would be
many
hard.
of
It would
them.
be hard to do, but anything's possible. But what I will say is this: here's what I think we want to think about is maybe a more practical solution is to say we're going to step up our efforts to identify terrorists, whatever they may look like, who may hurt other people in this country. It seems like that would make more sense than sort of saying we don't want any Muslim. You know,
You can't say, well, okay, whoever's a terrorist, raise your hand now. Just raise your hand so we know who you are.
well, you can't
You
do that
don't
with
know who they
anybody.
are.
You can't do that with
You don't know
any
who they are
terrorist,
until
any
after
criminal.
the fact.
I mean, but here's what I'll just say, and this is the last point I can make on this is that you have so many cities where, in fact, did you know that there's a list? I have a list actually I can send to you where there are 14 cities where the police in the last 5 years have never killed a white person, or not in the last 5 years, not killed a single white person, but killed dozens of black people. Now, given that you have these incidents of police terror, I'm talking about documented, proven cases of cops selling drugs, cops murdering people on a regular basis, things like that. Wouldn't you think that the response should also be equally diligent to this? To just say, okay, we're not going to get rid of cops. We need good cops. Good cops are wonderful for our society, but we're just going to rip these departments to shreds and eliminate this kind of behavior because it's a threat to our society? Or
I think we're trying
is the
to.
threat less relevant because it affects black people?
No, I think that we are in the process of doing it. I see that in Chicago. And I'm surprised Rahm Emanuel hasn't been forced to resign yet. I thought that he would be forced to resign.
But
There is
if
an
he were a Republican, you'd be defending him, wouldn't you?
I'm not defending him. You know I am a Republican, and I'm not defending
No,
him.
no, I said if he were a Republican, though. If he were a
Oh,
Republican.
oh no, I would not defend him.
Uh
Even that he's Jewish, I'm not defending it. I'm not defending it. Come on,
Okay.
we got to be a little honest here, a little fair, and a little honest here.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
well, but let me ask you this. Going back to where we started, who are you going to vote for? If the election were today and anybody you want could be on the ballot, who would you pull a lever for to be our next commander in chief?
Oh, if anybody won the ballot, I'd vote for a person you probably don't know, Dr. Claude Anderson, who wrote the book
A
Powernomics.
terrible answer. Of the candidates that have served, that's a terrible answer, Boyce.
Like,
Of the candidates
he
who
has
have
high level
served,
government experience. He'd be a better president than any president we've ever had in the last
but
50
except
years.
nobody knows who he is. I'm talking
Right.
about people who are part of the process, who have participated in debates, who we know are going to be candidates as we move through this process towards November. Of these candidates, who would you vote for? Because you know it's going to be one of these guys. Who of these guys or women would you vote for?
Oh, I don't want to vote for any of them. I don't like them.
Uh,
Any of the Democrats or Republican candidates. I don't like any of them because the system's rigged. The system's screwed
okay.
up.
Would
I
you,
vote
would
for
you
the black
actually let
community. That's who I vote for. But please continue with the
would
logic.
you actually let a national election come and go and not vote for anybody because you're saying, well, I don't like any?
I would probably vote for an independent candidate. I would consider Bernie Sanders. He's trying his best, but my community doesn't do well under any president, no matter what party they're from. We did as
Because
bad under Obama as we did under Bush. Actually, worse under Obama, but Bush didn't do very good either. So none of the candidates really does much for the black community.
well, the black community has to do more for itself, don't you think?
Well, actually, that's a point we agree on, But at the same time, I think the false hope of these candidates when they come into the churches and eat barbecue chicken next to black people and sing hymns and say praise the
Got it,
Lord
got it. You
and
have
get
to feel
it and
better.
buy off your pastor and get you to pay, to vote for him.
Yeah, that's photo op.
Right,
That's
it's
photo op.
nonsense. It's ridiculous. It's false hope, and I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah, yeah. So I think that Donald Trump's popularity is accounted for by the fact that he's a straight shooter, he's honest, he's direct, he's fearless.